Hi everyone. I'm Claire from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to make the Fresh Fruit Moments carry set, the orange version. This bag is designed in the shape of a fruit. The small fruit ornament is exquisitely and realistically shaped, with bright and eye-catching colors, and is lively and cute. The small bag and ornament can be used separately, or attached to the big bag. It is so convenient and practical. If you need to purchase the original materials kit, and receive crocheting guidance, please visit our website, www.susodiy.com, to reach the store directly. Now, let's get started. The product includes 2 bags, one large and one small, and a decorative hanging ornament. Each bag is divided into 2 parts, the main body and accessories. The main body of the large bag is divided into 2 sections, the finished bag bottom and the bag body. The small bag's main body is crocheted as one single piece. We'll first learn the crochet method for the large bag. Let's start with how to crochet the bag body. Take a look at the chart. The bag body is crocheted by joining yarn to the bag bottom. First, crochet the first 2 rounds along the holes on the bag bottom. Then, continue crocheting upward in a counterclockwise spiral. This method skips the turning chains and slip stitches at the end of each round, resulting in a cleaner and more polished appearance. Holes for the drawstring are left during the last 2 rounds of crocheting. The stitch techniques used include chain stitches, single crochets, slip stitches, and double crochets. Next, I'll demonstrate the specific crochet method. Before starting the actual crocheting, let's first go over the proper posture for crocheting. To make it easier for everyone to see clearly, I'm using thick yarn for this demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn details, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the product detail page and printed pattern instruction. Wrap the yarn tail around your left little finger once, then pass it between the middle finger and index finger. Next, pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger, and pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. The hook moves between these 2 points. Join the yarn on the bottom of the bag to start the first round. Face the side of the bottom with the metal studs towards you, and this is the right side of the bag bottom. Place the yarn behind any hole at the bottom of the bag. Leave a little yarn tail. Insert the hook into this hole, and wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. Then draw the yarn through. Pull both threads to the same height as the edge of the bag bottom. The joining is complete. Next, work 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. Position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. Then draw the yarn through the loop. 1 chain stitch is done. The turning chain for the single crochet doesn't count as 1 stitch. Now, work a single crochet into the hole underneath. Insert the hook into the hole. Place the yarn tail for joining over the top of your hook and weave it in. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull it to the same level as the edge of the bag bottom. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again. Pull through all the loops on your hook in one go. 1 single crochet stitch is completed. You'll see a V shape formed by 2 strands at the top right of the single crochet. This is the stitch of the single crochet. Continue working single crochets in the same hole. Insert into the hole. Keep weaving in the yarn tail for joining. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull it to the same level as the edge. Yarn over again. Pull through both loops on your hook. The second single crochet is completed. Then work 3 single crochets in each of the 2 adjacent chain spaces on the left side. And work 2 single crochets in the next hole on the left side. In the following 2 holes, make 3 single crochets in each respectively. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. Treat these 3 holes as one group. Continue repeating this group pattern downward until you reach the last hole. Now you've arrived at this position. Work 4 single crochets into the final hole. Then check the stitch count. Please refer to the pattern chart for the exact number of stitches. Make sure not to have extra or missing stitches. Next, work a slip stitch in the first stitch, which means inserting the hook into the first braid, on the left side of the yarn tail. Insert into the stitch. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Draw through all loops on the hook in one go, a slip stitch completed. This braid is the stitch for the slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch, so we need to tighten it, to avoid adding extra stitches later. The first round is complete. Move on to crochet the second round. This round needs to be crocheted on the wrong side. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise on the stitch at the left side of the yarn tail, which is the last stitch of the previous round. Work 1 slip stitch on the wrong side, single crochet stitches on the upper left. Insert into the stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook in once. The slip stitch is completed. Note that the slip stitch here is worked normally. There is no need to tighten. This stitch counts as the first stitch of this round. Continue working 1 slip stitch in the left stitch. If your hands are tight, you can slightly stretch the loop and crochet a bit looser. This makes it easier for the next round of crocheting. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Finish with a slip stitch. The last slip stitch is worked into the first single crochet of the previous round. Don't miss it. Check the stitch count after completing. It should be the same as the first round. Count the V shape formed by the slip stitches. 1 braid represents 1 stitch. Finally, work a slip stitch into the first slip stitch braid of the round. The joining slip stitch needs to be pulled tight. Round 2 is done. Next is round 3. This round is crocheted on the right side. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Turn counterclockwise. You can see there are 2 rounds of braids here. The front part is the first round of single crochet stitches. The back one is the slip stitch braid. This entire round is worked into the slip stitch braids. You can see that on the left side of the beginning chain, there are 2 braids of slip stitches, 1 large and 1 small. Pick up the big braid and work a single crochet stitch. This stitch also corresponds to the first single crochet of the first round. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch, hooking into the slip stitch braid. To finish this round, after completing the last single crochet stitch, the third round is done. You can see the stitches of the first round, forming a braid at the bottom of this round. This side will be the right side of the piece. When crocheting the body later, always keep the right side facing you. Move on to the fourth round. Since the body will be crocheted in spirals later, you can use a piece of scrap yarn in a different color from the body. To mark the position of the first stitch of each round, place the spare yarn tail to the left of this stitch. Then on the left stitch, work 1 single crochet. This stitch also corresponds to the first single crochet of the previous round. The marker yarn tail is at the bottom right corner of this stitch. Continue picking up the adjacent stitch on the left. Work single crochets into each stitch in sequence. Keep crocheting until right before the marked yarn tail. This completes round 4. Since it's crocheted in spirals, there will be a height difference at the beginning and end, which is completely normal. Move on to round 5. First, move the marked yarn tail to the back of the first stitch on the right side, then directly pick up the next stitch on the left and work a single crochet. The working method for the rest of the body is quite simple. Just work single crochets into each stitch one by one. Before starting the first stitch of each round, you should always move the marked yarn tail first. If the yarn tail is too short, you can simply pull out a bit more of the yarn tail from the fabric, then remark it. This method is very straightforward, so I won't demonstrate it further. Please continue crocheting on your own until right before the last 2 rounds of the body. Please refer to the chart for the exact number of rounds. Now we've crocheted a few rounds on the swatch. I'll teach you how to count the rounds. The fabric surface has raised textures that form concentric circles. Each texture represents 1 round. Skip the first 2 rounds that have slip stitch marks in this column, on top of the chain stitch of the first round stitch. The raised texture in this round is on the 3rd round. 4, 5, 6. Now we've crocheted 6 rounds. During crocheting, you may encounter situations where one yarn isn't long enough, and you need to join a new yarn. I'll demonstrate the specific method using this swatch. Start by working an incomplete single crochet. Insert into the stitch. Pull the yarn through. There are 2 loops on your hook. Hang the tail end of the new yarn with your left hand, leaving about 5 centimeters in length. Yarn over, and draw through both loops at once. Gently tighten the lower yarn tail. Now the yarn is joined successfully. These 2 tails can be weaved in together when crocheting the next single crochet. For any future situations where you need to join yarn, just follow this method. The second to last round requires creating a hole for the drawstring. I'll demonstrate using this small swatch. This swatch has fewer rounds and stitches. To show the method, continue from the ending position. First work 1 slip stitch on the left stitch. Transition the yarn tail to this position. Then chain 3. As the turning chain for the double crochet, which counts as 1 double crochet, and corresponding to the single crochet stitch below. Then work 1 double crochet on the left stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are now 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pass through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops remaining. Yarn over again. Draw through once. 1 double crochet is completed. Then work another double crochet into the adjacent stitch on the left. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over, and pull the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, draw through the first 2 loops in sequence. Repeat twice. 1, 2. Another double crochet is completed. Then work 3 chain stitches. Skip 3 stitches. Start from the 4th stitch. Crochet 3 double crochets 1 by 1 into each stitch. Then crochet 3 chain stitches. Skip 3 stitches. Crochet 3 double crochets accordingly. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. This round is simply skipping 3 stitches. Then crocheting 3 double crochets. Between every 3 double crochets, connect with 3 chain stitches. Each chain space creates a hole like this. Continue downward following this pattern to finish this round. After completing the last 3 double crochets, crochet 3 chain stitches. Slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the beginning chain, which means picking up these 2 strands, and crochet a slip stitch. Pull tight. The second to last round is completed. The marked yarn tail is no longer needed. You can pull it out directly. Now move on to the final round. First make 1 beginning chain to start. Then pick up the 3rd braid of the turning chain below. Work 1 single crochet. Next pick up the adjacent stitch on the left. Make 2 single crochets evenly. Now we've reached the chain space. Pick up the large loop of the chain and crochet 3 single crochets. Corresponding to these 3 chain stitches. Continue picking up stitches and crochet 3 single crochets. Crochet 3 single crochets into the chain space. Move to the next stitch and work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Keep crocheting until the end of this round. Completed. Slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch to join. Pull tight. The last round is done. Next, cut the yarn. Secure with 1 chain stitch. Leave a yarn tail about 5 centimeters long and cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail into the wrong side of the fabric. Be sure to weave in several stitches securely. Trim off any excess yarn tails. The body of the small sample bag is finished. Up to this point, the crochet method for the main body of the large bag is now complete. Next, start making the main body of small bag. First, let's look at the chart. The chart uses our plus number to indicate rounds. The stitch instructions column shows the stitches needed for crocheting the current round, as well as where to increase or decrease. The total stitches column shows the total number of stitches after completing all the stitches in this round. The stitches used are X single crochet, VSC 2-in-1, and ASC 2 tog. Next, I'll demonstrate the specific crochet method. I'll continue using cotton yarn for the demonstration. Color scheme is random. First, take a piece of waste yarn in a different color from the bag body to mark the position of the first stitch of each round. The cast on is a mister, which means the starting method is the magic ring technique. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand, wrap it around your left index finger twice. Now there are 3 strands of yarn on your left index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch where the loops overlap. Take it off, then hold the yarn in place on your left hand. Transfer the loop between your left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand, insert into the loop. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. There is now 1 loop on the hook. Make a chain stitch to secure. The magic ring is now complete. Keep the loop on the hook slightly loose. This makes it easier for the next steps. Now work the first round. R1 is 6x. The number before the X means how many single crochets to make. This means you'll work 6 single crochets into the magic ring loop. Simply insert the hook into the large space and crochet. After completing, weave the marker yarn tail into the large space. Then close the magic ring by pulling the loop tight. There are now 2 loops. First, gently pull the starting yarn tail. 1 loop will become active. Tighten the active loop. Just 1 loop remaining. Simply pull the tail end tight. And the loop is closed. Since we're using the spiral crochet method, we just need to crochet the stitches listed in the chart for each round. Well, the first round is now complete. Move on to crochet the second round. Round 2 is 6V. The number before the V indicates how many consecutive SC2-in-1 you need to make. Here it means you need to work 6 consecutive SC2-in-1. First, place the marker yarn tail on the left side of the last stitch. The method is the same as marking for the large bag. From now on I won't repeat this explanation. Then make the first SC2-in-1 in the adjacent stitch on the left, which means crocheting 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Keep the starting yarn tail above the hook while crocheting, and weave it in as as you go along. The first one, the second one, the SC2-in-1 is now completed. The marker yarn tail is at the bottom right corner of the first single crochet. Continue making a SC2-in-1 in the left stitch. Don't forget to weave in the ends. The second SC2-in-1 is completed. A total of 6 SC2-in-1 will be made in this round. The remaining 4 all follow the method of making 2 single crochets in each stitch. The last SC2-in-1 is worked into the stitch adjacent to the right of the first stitch. Check the stitch count after completing. Start counting stitches from the last stitch all the way back to the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 11, 12. This round has a total of 12 stitches. The total number of stitches for each round is clearly marked in the corresponding table. I won't explain it again later. Cut off the extra yarn tail from the starting chain directly. Round 2 is now completed. Continue crocheting round 3. R3 is X, V, times 6. The parentheses here indicate a group. Times number indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. First work 1 single crochet. Then work 1 SC2-in-1. X, V, is now completed. Let me demonstrate one more time. First work 1 single crochet. Then work 1 SC2-in-1. This is the second time. This round needs to repeat X, V, 6 times. For the remaining 4 times, work each round using the method of 1 single crochet, followed by a SC2-in-1. The last SC2-in-1 goes into the adjacent stitch, on the right side of the first stitch. Each round from now on will end by working into the next stitch on the right side of the first stitch. Round 3 is now completed. Let's take a look. The right side shows a clear texture, while the wrong side has a blurry texture. All following rounds will be worked on the right side. Now let's work on round 4. Start with 1 single crochet. Then make 1 SC2-in-1. Followed by 1 single crochet. X, V, X is now completed. Let me demonstrate again. Start with 1 single crochet. Then 1 SC2-in-1. Continue with 1 single crochet. This is the second time. Keep crocheting using the same method. On the last stitch, make 1 single crochet. The 4th round is now completed. Move on to the 5th round. Start with 1 SC2-in-1. Then crochet 3 single crochets. V3X is now done. Pay attention. The increase placement should follow the stitch count order in the table. Don't adjust randomly. Continue crocheting using the previous method. The 5th round is now completed. from round 6 down to round 21 in the table. The crocheting method is quite simple. The stitch techniques used have been fully demonstrated earlier. The meaning of the stitch instructions is similar. All you need to do is follow the stitch order in the table, and repeat the corresponding number of times. Let me explain here. In the table, work even 8-4x. This means starting from round 18. One stitch to another, work single crochets. Each round has 84 stitches. Continue crocheting until the end of round 21. When you see similar formats later on, they all mean the same thing. The first stitch of each round needs to be marked, to avoid confusion about which round you're on. This is a small sample I made by crocheting a few rounds without increases or decreases. Crocheting without increases or decreases will cause the fabric to naturally curl. Adjust the fabric so the right side faces out. Continue using the methods you've learned earlier. Refer to the chart, and finish crocheting these rounds on your own. I won't demonstrate further. Starting from round 22, we'll work SC2 tog. I'll use this small sample to demonstrate the crochet technique. In reality, start with 19 single crochets. My sample has fewer stitches here. Then crochet 1 SC2 tog. Let's take a look first. There are 2 strands of the stitch. The one closer to you is called the front loop. The other one is the back loop. Insert into the front loop of the first stitch first. Then insert into the front loop of the left stitch. There are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, and pull through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops left. Yarn over. Draw through in once. 1 SC2 tog is completed. This method of picking up only the front loops, for decreases is called invisible decrease. When crocheting with this technique, the gaps between stitches are smaller. So the fabric looks more delicate overall. 19XA is done. Let me demonstrate one more time. First crochet 19 single crochets. Then crochet 1 SC2 tog. Insert the hook through the front loops of the 2 adjacent stitches on the left side one by one. Yarn over. Draw through the first 2 loops on the hook in sequence. Repeat this twice. Once. Twice. A SC2 tog is completed. The stitch pattern inside the parentheses is completed once again. Continue crocheting following the previous method. Round 22 is completed. The stitches for the remaining part of the fabric are quite simple. You can crochet it by referring to the chart. Please refer to the pattern chart for the last 2 rounds of crocheting. Fasten off normally after completing. The method is quite straightforward, so I won't demonstrate it. Up to this point, the crochet technique for the main body of the small bag is fully explained. After completing the main body, next, make the accessories for the large bag, which including the drawstring, the oranges, leaves, D-ring and the strap. Let's start crocheting the orange. First take a look at the finished product, using the magic ring to start as well. With the spiral crochet method, switch colors at the last stitch of the first round. The method is the same as joining yarn when changing colors. Simply follow the crochet stitch order in the chart for the rest. Before crocheting the last 2 rounds, you need to add stuffing. Finally, fasten off and close the opening. No new stitches are used. Next, please watch me demonstrate the exact method. First, let's demonstrate How to change colors. Now I've reached one stitch before the end of the first round on my swatch. Switch colors when making the next single crochet stitch. I'm choosing colors randomly here. Once completed, tighten the loop. Leave about 5 cm of the old yarn tail, and then cut it off. Then move on to crochet the second round. First, place a marker. And work all SC2 in 1 in this round. As you crochet, weave in all the yarn tails. That's the end of the color change demonstration. Stuffing is needed after completing the 10th round. I'll use this small swatch to demonstrate the stuffing method. Fluff up the stuffing, and then stuff it in. You can use the crochet hook to help. Once it's roughly firm, pinch the curve of the fabric slightly. Adjust the shape as needed. That's how you do the stuffing. Continue crocheting according to the stitch pattern table from now on. The final round consists of continuous SC2 in 1. Crochet each stitch in sequence. You can follow the method learned earlier, refer to the chart, and complete these 2 rounds on your own. I won't demonstrate further. After completing the last round, break the yarn. Leave a yarn tail of about 10 centimeters, and then cut it off. Simply pull the tail through and tighten it. The yarn is now fastened off. Thread the yarn tail into a yarn needle. The marked tail can be pulled out directly. Pick up the front loop of the last round stitches one by one. Then pull them all tight at once. Weave the excess tail through the inside of the orange a few times. Next, insert the needle from the center of the opening and exit at any position. Gently pull the yarn and press the opening flat. Weave the excess tail through the fabric a few more times. Trim off. The closing is complete. One orange is done. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the orange is finished. Please crochet the corresponding number of oranges according to the demonstration table. I will not repeat the demonstration. Next, we'll crochet the drawstring for the big bag. Take out the corresponding yarn. I'll continue demonstrating with cotton yarn. Color scheme is random. Leave about 10 centimeters of yarn tail. Left hand holds the yarn in position. Right hand picks up the hook. Place it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Pinch the spot where the yarn crosses with your left thumb and middle finger. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch, so gently tighten it. Move on to crochet chain stitches. Please refer to the paper pattern instruction for the exact stitch count. Once it's done, take out an orange. Join with a slip stitch in the center of the beginning chain, which is also the round with a different color. Insert the hook into the center. Come out at any position along the base of this round. Pull the yarn through. Complete the slip stitch. Then pick up a strand on top of the chain braid. Work one slip stitch corresponding to each chain braid. Keep crocheting all the way down the chain braids. After completion, pull a large loop directly. Leave a 1/5 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Gently tighten it. The drawstring is done. Next, attach the drawstring to the main piece of the bag. Take the body of the bag. Place the first 2 rounds of slip stitch marks on the wrong side of the bag. Keep the right side facing you. Insert through any hole on the front side. Come out through the adjacent hole on the left. Insert into the next hole. Continue downward using this method. Pass through all the holes one by one. Finally, come out through the hole on the right side of the 3 double crochet stitches. The drawstring is now attached. Next, attach an orange to the open end of the drawstring. Thread the yarn tail reserved for the drawstring through a yarn needle. Sew the drawstring into the center of the magic ring of the orange. Make sure to sew it several times to secure it in place. Once done, tie both yarn ends into a double knot. Hide it inside the orange. The orange is now attached. Up to this point, the making and attaching of the drawstring is completed. Next, we will crochet the leaves. Let's look at the finished product. There are two different types of leaves. The large leaf is attached to the bag body. The small leaf is attached to the orange and the pendant. We will start with a foundation chain and crochet in rounds counterclockwise along the chain. The number of stitches and rounds varies. The new stitch techniques used are half double crochets and a CH3SL picot. Now please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, I'll demonstrate how to crochet the small leaf. I'll continue using chunky yarn for the demonstration. Colors are random. Start by making a foundation chain. Crochet 8 chain stitches. Foundation chain is completed. Next, crochet the first round. Start with a chain 1 to begin. Then insert the hook into the last chain of the foundation chain, which is the second chain from the left. And work 1 single crochet. The right side of the chain looks like a V-shaped loop. Pick up the top loop of the chain and work a single crochet. Then work 1 single crochet in the adjacent braid on the left. Work 1 half double crochet in the next braid. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are now 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through all the loops on the hook. 1 half double crochet is completed. Next, work 3 double crochets. Then work 1 half double crochet, yarn over. Insert the hook, yarn over and draw through. Yarn over again, pull through all 3 loops at once. The second half double crochet is completed. Now there's only 1 chain left on the foundation chain. On this braid, first work 2 single crochets. Then make a CH3SL picot. First work 3 chains. Then on the first chain stitch loop, pick up the top 2 strands and make 1 slip stitch. A CH3SL picot is completed. Continue by working 1 single crochet into the chain stitch, where the single crochet starts. Then pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain stitch. Correspondingly make 1/2 double crochet. Don't forget to finish the starting yarn tail. Next, crochet 3 double crochets. One half double crochet and 2 single crochets. Then work 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave about 1/5 cm yarn tail and cut it. If there's still some starting yarn tail left, just cut it directly. One small leaf is completed. Continue crocheting the remaining small leaves using this method. Please refer to the paper instructions for the exact quantity. I won't repeat the demonstration. Next, attach the small leaf to the drawstring. Thread the reserved yarn tail of the small leaf into a sewing needle. First, come out through the left stitch. Then insert it into the base of the drawstring near the orange. I'll use this sample to demonstrate. Then insert it through the middle of the securing chain stitch, which is the position where the yarn tail is located. Slightly tighten it. Pay attention to keep the right side facing up, with the wrong side facing the orange. You can stitch through again to secure it. Then attach the base of the leaf to the orange. Pay attention, the securing spot should be at the color change position, covering the height difference caused by switching colors. Then tie a double knot on the wrong side of the leaf. Weave in the yarn tails. The small leaf is now attached. Next, sew the water drop beads onto the leaves. The placement of the water drop beads isn't fixed. You can refer to the finished product, or place them according to your own preference. Sew it in a suitable position on the leaf. I'll use this small sample to demonstrate the sewing method. Take a yarn tail of the same color as the leaf. Split out 2 strands. Insert into a suitable size gold tail needle. From the bead sewing position, insert the needle from the wrong side of the fabric. Leave a little yarn tail at the back. Thread through the water drop bead. Bring the needle through to the back of the leaf nearby. Tie the beginning and ending tails into a double knot on the wrong side of the fabric. Hide the yarn tails neatly by yourself. The water drop bead is now securely sewn. Follow this method to sew the remaining water drop beads. I won't repeat the demonstration. The crocheting method for large leaves is similar to that of small leaves. Let's take a look at the finished product. We will start with the foundation chain method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise along the starting point. No new stitch techniques are used. Now I'll demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, start by making a foundation chain with the corresponding number of chains. Then work one chain stitch to begin. Follow the chart until reaching the last chain space. Now we've reached this position. Work one single crochet into this chain stitch. 3 chains and 1 single crochet. Next, pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain stitch and crochet symmetrical stitches until reaching the last chain space. Work 1/2 double crochet into this chain space. The first round is now completed. Next, crochet the second round. Simply pick up the first stitch from the previous round, which is the left side stitch, and work 1 slip stitch. Then work 2 slip stitches correspondingly. Work single crochets until 3 chains before. Now you've reached this position. Pick up the chain space and work 3 single crochets. Then continue picking up stitches and work single crochets until you reach the 4th single crochet. Next, work 1 single crochet and 3 slip stitches. Finally, at the half double crochet stitch, work 1 slip stitch. Pull up the loop. Leave a yarn tail of about 15 centimeters. Cut it off. Thread the yarn tail into a sewing needle. Come out through the adjacent stitch. Then insert into the middle of the slip stitch. That is, the stitch where the yarn tail is located. Gently tighten it. After weaving in the tails like this, there are no obvious marks on the surface. Leave the yarn tail for now. The leaf is completed. Next, attach the large leaf to the main body of the bag. I'll use this swatch for demonstration. Stitch count is random, just demonstrating the method. Attach the leaves to the right side of the chain space, where the drawstring comes out on the front side of the bag. Anywhere along a double crochet or below a chain space. Make sure the right side of the leaf faces outward, and the wrong side faces the bag. No specific sewing method required. Sew the end of the leaf to this position. Sew it securely. Tie a double knot when completed. Weave in the yarn tails. Trim off the excess. This is how the large leaf gets attached. Finally, sew 2 water drop beads onto the leaf. The methods have all been demonstrated before, so I won't demonstrate again. You can see, this is what the large leaf looks like when done. Please crochet another large leaf on your own. I won't demonstrate again. Next, sew D-rings onto both sides of the bag body. The starting position for inserting the drawstring is at the middle of the right side. Attach the D-rings to both sides of the bag body, about 7 centimeters away from the top opening. I'll use this small sample to demonstrate. Use the remaining yarn from the bag body for sewing. I'm using random color schemes here. Cut about 60 centimeters of yarn tail. Thread the needle. Come out at the corresponding position inside the bag body. Leave a small section of yarn tail at the back. Sew from right to left. Then sew back again. After sewing, tie a double knot with the beginning and ending threads. Weave in the ends on your own. 1 D-ring has been sewn on. Attach the other D-ring using the same method. Make sure the positions of the 2 D-rings are symmetrical. I won't demonstrate this part. Next, clip the strap directly onto the D-ring. Up to this point, the demonstration for making the large bag accessories is completed. Next, I'll demonstrate how to make the small bag accessories. Let's look at the finished product. The accessories include a drawstring, large leaves and water drop beads. The making and installation methods for the leaves and water drop beads have been demonstrated earlier. Attach the leaf underneath any double crochet on the bag opening. Pay attention that 2 water drop beads are also attached on the leaf. Additionally, sew 5 water drop beads onto the left side of the leaf. The sewing position is not specified. You can refer to the finished product, or sew according to your own preference. The method is quite simple. Please complete the crocheting of the remaining accessories for the small bag, except for the drawstring. I won't demonstrate this part. I'll use this swatch to demonstrate the method of making and attaching the drawstring. The swatch is crocheted with solid color yarn. Stitches are random, just only demonstrating the method. Take the corresponding yarn. First, chain the required number of stitches. Please refer to the printed pattern instruction, or crochet to the appropriate length according to the actual situation. Then attach the chain-made drawstring to the bag body. Insert the hook through the right side hole above the leaf. from the end where you started casting on. Skip one hole. Exit through the next hole. Then skip another hole. Insert through the next hole. Follow this method and go around completely. Finally exit through the second hole to the left of the insertion point. Position the back side of the braid towards you. Fold both sides inwards towards the middle. Be mindful not to twist the braid. Pick up one strand of yarn, like this, on top of the first braid. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The cast on is now complete. Chain 1 to begin the next round. Then work slip stitches, 1 stitch into each stitch. After crocheting a few stitches, pull out the remaining chain loop. The end with the slip stitch has already been hooked. Stuff into the hole of the bag body. Then continue crocheting slip stitches until this round is complete. When you're almost done with the round, if the chain twists, adjust the left drawstring and straighten out the chain loop. Then continue crocheting. After finishing the round, join with a slip stitch in the first slip stitch loop. Pull tight. Fasten off the yarn normally. Tie a double knot with the beginning and ending yarn tails. Hide all the yarn tails neatly on your own. Now, the drawstring for the small bag is made and attached. Next, we'll make the ornament. Let's look at the finished product. The ornament includes leaves, oranges and a drawstring. First, crochet the required number of leaves and oranges separately. Then crochet the drawstring. The drawstring is made using the same method as the one for the large bag. Start by crocheting the required number of chain stitches. Then attach the orange at the ending position. Crochet back using slip stitches. When reaching the fork position, first crochet the corresponding chain stitches. Attach another orange. Then slip stitch back. Continue crocheting the remaining splits in the same way. Finally, sew on the small leaves. The method is the same as the previous attaching one. For the exact positions of the drawstring, fork and small leaves, please refer to the finished product or paper diagram. The method is simple, so I won't demonstrate it here. The hanging ornament can be attached to the D-ring like this. Up to this point, the crochet method for this bag with pouch is now complete. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.